Welcome to you Multicultural Community Hour. My name is Jocelyn Gilbert, and today I have a special guest, and both we will be talking about newcomer challenges. Yes, those challenges that we as newcomers faced every single day. But don't worry, we will show you, we will talk about the challenges, but we also will share the strategies that we use to overcome them. So, Lisbeth, thank you.
Thank you for having me here.
We are very happy to have you here and share with our audience our experiences as a newcomer.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Lisbeth. I'm from the Dominican Republic. I am an international student. I'm doing a postgraduate diploma in business accountancy, and I came to Winnipeg in December.
Wow, that's great. So, Lisbeth, you have faced some of those challenges.
Yeah,
What do you think the biggest challenge you have faced as a newcomer?
Well, weather, because as I come from the Caribbean, it's always summer there. So that winter here, like I have never experienced that before. That was so hard, to be honest. And like I was not expecting that. I was not ready for that. I didn't know anything about that. So I didn't know how to overcome that challenge for me in that moment, because that was new for me.
Yeah, I always say that. Weather is kind of challenging because we both come from the Caribbean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would like to come, let's say, during summer. So I would have had that time to get adjusted, let's say, from summer to fall and then winter. But I came in winter, so I didn't have the time to experience that weather or temperature going down. I just came here, so it was...
It was a suddenly change,
Exactly.
change in weather. Yeah. I think this is one of the hardest, but you know what? We get used to it.
Yeah, for example, I started going ice skating. So I was like, oh, I love winter now. Because I consider that's one thing that is important. You just need to find things that make you enjoy that season that you are in. So if you're in summer, look for activities that you can do during summer. If it's winter, look for activities you can do during winter. And that is going to help you enjoy that season.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling the audience, it's not only talking about the challenges, it's also talking about strategies, how to overcome them, because we chose to come to Canada, we chose to leave our countries, but we need to overcome those situations in the positive way. And I loved what you said.
Yeah, exactly. It is like that. So always trying to focus on advantages. There are always going to be negative things, but we just need to try to focus on the good things.
And I think those negative things are not that negative.
Yeah, it's because we are not used to it. That's why we see it that way.
Yeah. And talking about the challenges, some of the things I see that people struggle also is that they miss their people, they miss their family, not only the weather, but they're missing their food and everything from back home. Did you experience that?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. At the beginning, I was like, okay, I am in a new country, I'm exploring, I'm meeting new people. Like, I don't have any reason to feel sad. But then those days, those hard days, for example, I am a student. So let's say I studied hard for a test and I fail. So for me, that's hard. So those days when those things happen to you that you're not feeling good is that you really start missing your family. Because you are like, oh, if I were with my mom, she would say this or she would make me feel better. So even though at the beginning I was like, wow, exploring, this is new. But I have to be honest, you also face those times when you miss the food, you miss your family, like you miss everything.
Do you know, I didn't struggle that much with that. I always tell the people, when I came here, I remember we were from 10 to 12 families that we came the same season, and we knew each other from back home.
Oh, okay.
So we started celebrating Christmas, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, everything. And usually on weekends we got together, we went to the parks, we went ice skating. So we didn't have that issue. And Christmas, when instead of being, oh, I'm missing my family, no, we were getting ready, cooking because we have a potluck. So I think with this issue that we are feeling lonely, we come with a
Solution.
solution.
Yeah.
Yes. Get together with other people, connect with other people, make friends, and do something. Because it's not about looking for those, as you said, those negative aspects. It's looking for a solution, because we need to keep moving. We need to keep moving. And I think this is the best thing I've ever experienced, that I didn't have a chance to feel lonely or to feel sad, because I was surrounded by people. And this is something I recommend people also to do.
Yeah, I have some classmates. I see that, for example, they don't go out. And I always telling them, like, okay, there is a party in the college. Let's go, because that's an opportunity for you to meet people. So if you don't go out, if you don't socialize, you will feel like you are alone. So yeah, that's true. But I have a question for you. What about language? How was it when you came here?
Well, in our previous program, we were talking about that, because we thought we spoke English. But when we are coming here, we see that everybody speaks English in a different way. It's hard. But okay, this is the issue. Now I'm coming with the solution. We get used. Our ear gets used to these people who speak English different than us. So, but at the beginning was kind of challenging, because I didn't understand. I didn't understand people from other countries, specific countries, and they said the same. It's hard for me to understand people whose native language is this or that. So that was kind of challenging. And usually when I spoke with Canadians also, that they spoke fast or said some words that, what does this mean? Idioms, it was kind of challenging to understand.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, everybody knows that that's the reality. So if you don't understand, you can feel free to ask. Like, could you repeat that? And people are very understanding in that aspect. Like, they try to speak in a way that you understand, then they are not going to be offended. They're not going to feel bad, like, if you let them know, I don't understand. So that's something good. Like, we have that, but everybody is aware of it. So it's not an issue at all.
And you know something funny that happened? I have experienced lots of funny things. I remember once at university, because we were all newcomers. I was in an international program, just international students in that program. So I asked this person, and what is your home language? What's your native language? And he said, what? English.
Yeah.
I felt so embarrassed.
Yeah.
But they speak English, but
in a different way. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's the same, like English, their mother tongue, but it's different. I know.
Yes. Something I struggled a lot also was with the transportation, because in our country, we had our car, and we drove everywhere. But we came here, we had no car. We had to wait to get the driver's license, and we didn't want to spend that much money.
And
so we had to take
family.
the bus.
Yeah.
Yes, taking the bus. And sometimes, for example, I remember I had to go to my children's school, and from the bus stop to the school, it was about 10 minutes. That's not too much, but it was minus 30, minus
Exactly.
32, 35, and I cried.
Yeah.
It was very hard. Transportation was a real challenge when we came here. Now, the solution, when you get your own car, that's not an issue.
Yeah, now that you said that you were crying because it was cold, that happened to me as well. Let's say I were walking on the street, bad day, you want to cry, and I was thinking like, oh my God, it's so cold that my drops are going to get frozen.
Oh yeah, I felt the same. It was very frustrating. It was very frustrating because I was thinking, oh, in my country, I was so comfortable. I was in my comfort zone. I had my car and look at what I'm doing. I wanted to cry. I felt very, very, very frustrated about that.
Yeah, well, in my case, to be honest, I loved transportation here. Because in my home country, well, I had my car as well, but before that, I was using public transportation. And to be honest, there in the Dominican Republic, public transportation is a disaster. So when I came here and I saw like, okay, I know when the bus is coming, I know which bus I have to take, that was like amazing. Because there, you have to go to the place and you don't know what time the bus is coming, you don't know if you lost it, but here you can track that. And for example, if you're going to a place that you have never been before, you have to ask people how to get there. Here you can use Google Maps and it's going to tell you the bus that you have to take, what time you have to take it, where you have to drop off. Like you have all of the information here. Like I love it, I love it.
So we came with the challenge, but we also have the solution. It's not as we think.
Yeah.
I think everything has some positive things and not that positive things. So we need to balance on it.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't experience that much, but I could see many newcomers face the resource access.
Especially for job search, wow.
Yeah, because there are so many organizations here who provide those services, but when people come here, they don't know, they don't have those resources.
That's true. That there should be a way that people could get that information when they're coming here.
But when I came, I remember we knew few people from here, and they immediately told us, oh, you can go to this place, you can go to another place, and they gave us a list of places that we could go and get those services. But I mean those newcomers who come and they don't know anybody
Exactly.
here.
Like me.
But I think a strategy that people should use is check the social media, people who are living in this province, you can Google non-profit organizations for newcomers. So because many people have been struggling with that.
Yes.
They don't have access to resources, but the resources are there.
I think that making connections is very, very important. Because as you said, you had people here. They told you about that. But in my case, like I came here, I didn't know anybody. So I made a lot of mistakes because of that. I wasted a lot of time. So making connections, as you said, like you can start following people who lives here already and text them. Like, okay, I'm interested in going to this place, or how can I get this done? People here, I have noticed, that's why they call it Friendly Manitoba. People are always happy to help you with information. So don't feel like you're bothering somebody. Don't feel ashamed. Do it, because that is going to make a difference in your process when you get here.
Yes, and I remember in our previous program, we had a special guest. She's a content creator, and she was talking about that. She didn't have that much information about the province and about living in Manitoba, so she decided to create content in social media, and that's why she did it. She enjoys it. But yeah, that's something people can do. There are so many people who are posting information about the processes, what to do, the places, even where to get food for your community. Like, there are so many resources, but you need to do a research.
Yeah.
Even YouTube, you Google Manitoba, Chinese people in Manitoba, Africans in Manitoba, Latinos in Manitoba, and you will find something, because right now there's lots of resources before you come, and when you connect with those people, you can ask which places can provide services for my settlement.
And to be honest, these people that are online, like social creator, etc., content creator, they love interactions. So, like, text them, like, have conversations with them, because that's why they're there, because they like that. They like to talk to people. They like to meet new people. So use that as an advantage for your process.
I want to say something. Do never give money.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You
Because
have to
some
be
people
wise.
just take advantage. Yeah, to never give money, because sometimes there are frauds.
Yeah,
But yeah, just be careful. But this is something you can use to connect with people before you come here.
what about food? Like, how do you feel with food here in Winnipeg?
Oh, I struggled a little bit. I also talked about that in our previous session. It was hard for me to find the right rice, because we as Dominican eat rice every day, and food didn't taste the same, but we got used to it, and now I find everything. I find almost everything, and we cook everything we used to eat back in our country. So it was kind of a challenge, but what's the solution you bring for that?
Yeah, as you said, the connections, because you said now you know where to get that food. At the beginning, you didn't know. So now I don't know, and you're going to tell me.
Yeah, but if you don't know me, who's gonna tell you?
So that's why connections are important.
Yeah. Connections are very, very, very important. Also, something that I feel that we struggle a lot is that this lack of independence when we come, and the loss of control. You feel you don't have the control of anything, because you don't know what will be your future about. You don't know if you will succeed, and emotionally, it does affect a lot.
Yeah, I have noticed that it's hard because you had a life in your home country.
Yeah.
So you're expecting to have something similar here, but we have to face that we're starting from the bottom here.
Yeah. And it's a decision.
Exactly.
It's a decision.
This is a new country, new opportunities, new things to do. Like, don't expect that your life is going to be as it was in your home country.
Yeah. New life, new people, new friends, new cultures.
Yeah.
Have you experienced something in multicultural workplaces or at school, or any events where you have been sharing with people from countries whose cultures are different from yours?
My program is only for international students, so that means that all of my classmates are from different countries.
So there's no Canadians?
No.
So you will learn about all cultures except Canadians?
Just instructors. Some of them are from Canada. So we had this class at the beginning of the program, intercultural competence. So that was an opportunity for us to get to know each other. Every week we had to, 5 people had to do a presentation about something related to their culture. So I learned a lot, different customs. To be honest, I was surprised with some of them, but that was part of the class. trying to make us be more open to different cultures, and instead of being like surprised or judging, just accepting that's how it is done in that culture, and we have to respect that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was shocked. For example, when one of my classmates told me that her marriage was arranged, that's not common in my country. So I said like, what, really? But then after that class, I understood that when these kind of things happen, we cannot show that we're shocked, because maybe that culture can feel offended. So just like try to listen, and if we have questions, of course, we can ask to try to understand that a little bit better.
Yeah, yeah. And we also talk about that in our previous program, and yeah, we need to be very careful how we react to those things that are different for us. Yeah.
Yeah. I can say that something that was difficult for me here was job search. Let's say applying for jobs, because in my home country, that's totally different. So I took a class as part of a service from college, like it's included in my tuition and those kind of things. So I said, okay, I'm going to take advantage of this service and I'm going to take this class. So I was supposed to create a resume. It took me 1 week because I was like, no, this is not how it is done in the Dominican Republic. What do I have to do? I have no idea. So that was something that was totally different here. Like the time that it takes here for companies to answer you, the hiring process, like
The interviews.
the interviews, I hate that. That's the part that I need to work on the most, because totally different.
Yeah.
So it's something that you have to, with practice, you get it.
Yes. And something I can tell about the resume, for example, it's that in our countries, resumes are based on education and experience.
Mm-hmm.
In Canada, they are not looking that much experience and education. They want skills.
Exactly.
And you need to demonstrate that you have the skills in your resume.
Mm-hmm.
So also something else that it's totally different, it's that you can apply to 5 to 10 positions, the same position, but you need to write a different resume for each position, because each position has its own main skills and requirements. Mm-hmm. So for every single position, you need a different resume. So that's also challenging.
Yeah, it took me some time to understand that, because I was like, oh my God, how much time am I going to spend for a job that I don't really know if I'm going to get it? But that's reality. Like, if you want to be successful when you are applying for a job, it's going to take time, because you need to tailor your resume, your cover letter. That's another thing. In the Dominican Republic, we don't have cover letters. So that's something extra. But as I said, like, if you want to get a job and you want a good one, like, you have to take time to prepare those documents before you apply. It's not like you're going to apply with the same documents to all of the jobs. That is something that is done in the Dominican Republic, but not here.
Yeah.
So we have to start understanding that and get used to it.
So this is the challenge. The solution is there are practice, but there are different organizations that provide those services.
Yes.
And connection also. I think this is something that we have in common. I didn't know that I was going to experience that in Canada. In our country, connections help. You are looking for a job and I talk about you, she's my friend, she's skilled, and they might not offer you the job, but they consider that.
Exactly.
That's back in Dominican Republic. So I thought it was different here. But connections and references are very important here. And sometimes some organizations, they don't post their jobs. They just say in to their employees, we're looking for someone for this position, if you would like to apply, or if you know someone, and the last resource is posting that. So again, connections are really important. And I work with newcomers, and I have been working with newcomers for 4 years, and I can see that many people, when they come to Canada, they decide, I will have a new life. I won't get together with people from my community. I want to be by myself. And, it's kind of challenging, because sometimes you need, even when you're looking for a job, you need a reference. You need someone who tell you about any job opening, or someone who review your resume with more experience, as you said, and they don't have it because they don't have that connection. They didn't build a community.
Yeah, that's true. In college, we were told that 80% of jobs are hidden. That means they don't post it, as you said. And that's how it goes. Like, okay, we are having tea, whatever. And I said, you know what, Jocelyn, I need this kind of person for this position. Like, do you know anybody? And that's how it works here. I had the same thought. I thought that it was not like that. Like, okay, I'm going to apply, that I'm going to demonstrate that I have the skills. Like, that's the best way for getting jobs. But networking is the really important thing to do if you want to be successful in your industry.
Yeah. And we will have another session. We will be talking about networking, but this is just one. Something we struggled a little bit, not that much, but some people do. It's housing.
Wow.
Finding rent. Because when you come here, you don't have credit. And sometimes...
and you have no idea. Like, you
how
don't know
to start, which places, where to get a house, which places are nice for you to live, houses around, the bus stop, and
Yeah, it's true. I have some friends. They came at the beginning of the year, during winter. So they rented the first thing they got because of that. Like, it's winter. We don't have a house. We are in an Airbnb. So the first thing they got, they had to take it. But, renting is a long-term responsibility. So now, let's say, if it's not convenient, what are they going to do? They have to wait, or they have to pay a fee if they want to move.
Or find a lease.
Exactly. So that's something that we struggle a little bit, that's true. But what we can do, as you said, connections, asking people, doing the research before coming here. For example, where I live, I was coming in December, and I rented in October from the Dominican Republic.
Wow.
I have a friend, she's coming in December this year, and she told me, oh, I found this place. Can you go, please, and check the place for me? So those are things that we can do. And we don't have to worry about that. We just come here and we have our house.
So this is, again, challenge and solution.
Exactly.
Strategy to overcome that. Yeah. And in our case, I remember we found a house like 2 weeks after we moved. And it was a new friend, because we didn't know before. We didn't know them before. But the same, making connections. We found that place. The only thing I would say that it was more expensive than the average, but it was very nice apartment. So we had to pay extra every month, but it was a nice house.
Yeah, like everything in life is going to have advantages and disadvantages. So
yeah. And now that I'm talking about how much we paid, Financial issues is another challenge.
Wow.
Yeah, for example, when we came here, my husband got a job, but it was kind of full time. But sometimes he went to work and they say, oh, we don't need you now. Just work 3 hours and go back home. I was studying. I had the stress of the family and school and missing everybody in my country. So it was kind of challenging because we needed to use our savings. And every month when I saw that we had
That account going down.
1,800 less, and our account is coming down and down and down. So this is another challenge because then you start thinking, did I make the right decision? It was okay to come to Canada, but with the challenge also comes the solution, or not the solution, but the understanding that this is not going to be forever. You know, now that I see that back time, I don't have any regret.
Exactly.
Because it's not going to be forever. Once you finish university and start working, you can little by little start saving and having your savings back. So, but this is something that was very hard for us. And I think we need to be careful with our expenses because when we come and we start, oh, I want a brand new car, or because I have the savings, or I want to wear very fancy clothes, or I want to go everywhere and go to restaurants.
Exactly.
You know, maybe we have the money, but I think we need to be wiser and try to spend, not to spend that much, because this is really challenging.
Yeah, it's true. At the beginning, you come with all of your savings that you had to come here, and you are like, okay, I have money to buy these kind of things. But my suggestion is wait until you are stable. Let's say, wait until one of you has a job, and that job covers the daily expenses. So then after that, you can have an idea, like how much money you have available to save, to spend. But if you start spending at the beginning, money goes like that. Like you didn't even notice. And that's true. But something very important that you mentioned is that you don't regret. Like you ask yourself, like, oh, did I take the right decision? But then you realize that you don't regret. That's a question that people ask me a lot. We're talking about difficulties, but even we had faced all of those things, I can say I am glad that I am here. I don't regret coming here at all. Like if I had to do that 100 times, I would do it again. So it doesn't matter. We have been saying these kind of things, but I think advantages, opportunities are way more than those things that we have mentioned before.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree.
So if I had to go over that again, I would do it again. Yeah. The weather, the food, the transportation, financial issues,
the language.
Yeah, everything. I will do it again.
Like Britney Spears.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, and it's something that we had to make a huge change. And I also see people, because I am surrounded by people, especially newcomers. But the family dynamics change a lot. First, the school in our country starts 7 o'clock. 7:15, 7:30. So you drop your children at school, and then you go to work. And here you need to, school starts late, and
you have to
work early. You have to leave early. So this could be something challenges for families, and the family dynamics change also. Lunch.
Yeah, everything.
And you know something very common in our country, that people have someone who helped them to take care of their children. They pay someone to clean, they pay someone to take care of the children. But when you come to Canada, you have to clean your house by yourself. You need to take care of your children. You need to do everything. You need to cook. And it's kind of challenging because we are not used to do that.
Exactly.
You know? So the family dynamics change a lot.
Yeah, that's what I said before, that we come expecting to have the same lifestyle that we had before. But I think it's very important to be open to new beginnings. Like, this is new, your life is there, you are not there, you're here, this is what it is.
And it's something that we should be reminding the people all the time. And when you struggle with those things, remember why you came. And you get used to it.
Yeah.
Canadians are born this way, and they don't pay anybody to clean, they don't pay anybody to cook for them, they don't pay anybody to take care of their children, and they're doing well. Why should we regret about coming here because of that? And I can see many people regret about it. And they say, I never stayed by myself with my children. I always had someone, a relative, or I paid someone. But it's kind of challenging, but it's, as you said, just change your mindset and get ready, because this is what we have. And yeah, I think if some other people do it, why we can't?
Yeah, and let me tell you something. Every decision you take in life, you would have to sacrifice something. So you just think about that. What do you prefer to sacrifice? Would you prefer to stay there where you were?
With all the situations that made you
come here? Exactly. Or what do you prefer, to be here and sacrifice those little things that you had before? So that's it. You have to put that in a balance and check, what do you prefer to sacrifice. Sacrifices are always going to be there. It doesn't matter the decisions that you take. You just need to know which one you prefer to have.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And this is something that we need to think all the time. Why I decided to leave my country. Why?
Why am I here? What is this country offering me that my country didn't? Like, yeah, focus on the advantages.
Yeah, focus on the positive things.
Yeah.
So, Lisbeth, thank you so much for coming. It was such a nice pleasure to have you here and listening to your experiences and sharing ours. And thank you to our audience. Remember to follow us on social media, and see you next time. Bye-bye.